Hello, this is Manesh Patel from ichimokutrade.com. Today is August 18, 2013. This is our Ichimoku analysis for the global markets, where we cover everything from North America, South America, Europe, Middle East, Asia, and so forth. um, I know there's been a lot of requests for us to start getting back to our weekly format or bi-weekly format. We are going to start doing that, especially after our Labor Day holiday here in the U.S., which will be in September. It's just being hectic with the summer months. Anyways, this is our normal disclaimer. This is for education use only. We're not soliciting you to buy or sell anything at all. If you decide to buy anything based on any of these videos, you're doing that at your own risk. These videos are for educational purpose only. Today, the charts you're going to see are basically from eSignal for the international markets. Here is our website, ichimokutrade.com. Here's our email address where you can contact us here at either our email or our phone numbers here. Also, if you go to our website here, you could access Twitter, our blogs, free videos, access our multiple time frame email alerts. All kinds of information is available for free there. So, please access any of that information you need. Okay, so let's go as normal procedure. Let's go and go straight to eSignal and start looking at our charts. Normally start off in Europe and then slowly progress across to Middle East and then Asia and then to the Americas. Remember, on the left hand side is basically a daily chart, and the right hand side basically is our weekly chart here. And you can see here, this is basically the UK right now. UK is pretty much consolidating, as you can see here from the weekly time frame here. And let me shrink this down some. You can see it's consolidating here. Basically, it's between a support of 64.52 and 66.49, and that's pretty much been like that for a little while here. Had a little move here going up and down, but this is pretty much the new range right now for the UK market, so that's really not doing anything at all. Germany, on the other hand, is also ranging, but notice it's at the top of the range right now, which is at one of the low resistances. And that resistance here is based on the closing prices, but of course it could go a little higher to that pivot high right there. So right now it's pretty much butting against resistance at 83.94. Is one resistance right now, and if you look here on the support side, it's basically 79.84 is the support for the German market. But overall, it is consolidating, but at its pretty much high right now. France, here you can see the nice little move up it's had. This is reason why this movement looks pretty good, but remember it's just coming to a resistance of also a 41.35. Support on this is going to be 4,000 even. And the reason why this looks good is because Paris, remember, was lagging, where we were always doing a Paris trade, actually since beginning of last year, where we've been long Germany and short Paris on the CAC. So that's just now catching up now to the worldwide markets as we move forward. Amsterdam here, you could see is also at a resistance here at 373. Support on this one's going to be 353. It tried to break it last week, but kind of didn't held back, kind of pulled up here, but it did try to make a move high, but kind of has pulled back some. So just be careful in trying to go long in Amsterdam right now. It still hasn't broken the resistance with conviction at all. Spain consolidating. It's at the top of the range right now. There's a lot of resistance. It's going to run and going higher. Resistance right now it's at is 87.70. Support is 82.11. Italy here consolidating also. Resistance it's coming approach to 17.835. Support is going to be 16,886. Nordic here is consolidating too. It's almost on the verge now of trying to break out. Here it's basically at 1187 is the resistance, 1119 is the support. Remember, this was strong last year, very, very strong going up, and then pretty much over here just decided to start consolidating here again since 311 of this year. So pretty much in March timeframe, it decided to top out, consolidate. So it's kind of time it needs to break out in order to continue the trend. If it doesn't, it's going to start start moving to the lower side because all the people are going to start second guessing it and moving forward. Oslo. Here you could see it's at a resistance right now, 503.61. It's still trending, believe it or not, bullish on both the daily and weekly. but slowly trickling up there. Had a pullback here, still a medium pullback, not a major pullback at all right now. Switzerland, you could see Switzerland was doing good, decided to do a medium pullback here. It's now trying to retest the high, but just consolidating right now. Support right now at 78.22. Resistance is 82.81. And let's go over now to, let's just cover South Africa real fast before we start moving in to the Middle East. South Africa here, as you can see, is in the trend, moving nicely. Had a little consolidation pattern here, as you could see from this date right here, which is right around 520. Consolidate for a little while, but pretty much now moving forward, moving up. So it's still bullish, very strong bullish, believe it or not, for South Africa. Support on this one's going to be 92.40. Next we'll cover is Turkey, and then we'll go to Israel. Just do a little things different. So Turkey here basically is caught between is in the support resistance right now. Support on this one's going to be about 43.10. Resistance is going to be 44.61. It's got to break out of there. It has gone through a major pullback, which it now kind of needed. Now it needs to kind of sit there, break this resistance, and retest the high 4,800, and then continue on its journey up. But it does have strong momentum right now to continue up and break the pivot high if it could sit there and break this resistance right now and move forward. Israel, which is being hot, along with all the other Middle Eastern countries here, as you can see, is still very, very strong. Support on this is going to be 47.54. It's going to be the first major support, but this thing broke the 5,000 level, a couple of points above it, and still very strong moving forward on both the daily and weekly. As you can see, it's had some minor pullbacks, which are very, very healthy. So this is still very strong moving forward. And you can see even with all the stuff that's going on with Egypt, this thing's still going up really nicely. Abu Dhabi. Here you could see Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, wrong country. It's still very strong along with all the other Middle Eastern countries, so they're very strong here. Support on this basically, support on this is 79.75. Dubai, still very strong too. Notice the difference between Saudi Arabia here, it had pullbacks here. Dubai here had a little pullback here, but this is still very strong compared to Saudi Arabia. Support on this one's going to be 24.28. And all the countries in the world right now, especially in the Middle East, this is still very strong. This still has not had not even a medium pullback at all. So it looks like it's trying to top out now, right around here, right around 4,000. But the support on this is going to be 37.13. But this is still the strongest country in the world, especially in the Middle East. But every country right now in the Middle East is very strong as we move forward, as you could tell. Let's go over to Asia. Let's start with China. As you can see from China, not much really going on. I had a little big move last week going up and then pulled all the way down, which is not good. Actually, that could be a bad tick. I'll have to go check into that. Resistance on this one's going to be roughly around 2,200. Support on this one's going to be about, I would say, about 2118. So it's kind of stuck between those two support resistances. So really, it's not going to do anything until it breaks out of there. The natural trend, believe it or not, right now is still bearish. So this could have this little bad tick or this little upward movement to 2248, which is a major resistance, could be a pullback to go down lower. So be very careful in trying to go bullish as far as the China market is concerned. There's no high probability trade right now. Hong Kong resistance is basically 22,662. Support on this one's going to be 21,692. Nothing much really going on exciting there. Korea, really nothing going on at all here. It's stuck between 240 and to about 250, let's just say. Japan, which is strong at the very beginning of the year, as you could see, is starting to do some pullbacks. It's at a major support right now, and the resistance on this one's going to be about, the minor resistance about 13,685, but the major resistance is going to be roughly around 14,195. This does need a major pullback, so it could break the support here, but it's kind of do or die right now for the Japan market as far as the Nikkei is concerned. So this week will probably tell us a lot exactly where it closes. If it closes right around where we're at now, then this thing's going to consolidate for a little while. Indian Sensex market, not really doing much at all. Came against the resistance at 19,000. What is that? 300, bounced off there and went back lower below 19,000. This thing just can't seem to break it at all. The 20,500 level to sit there and go up. This thing consolidates. The more this consolidates, the more chances it's going to have to go bearish and come all the way down to about 18,000. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens. But this thing's ranging between 20,500 and roughly about 18,400. Okay, so that's the Sensex market there. Malaysia. Malaysia really not doing anything here. It is still bullish trend here, but what I don't like is it gapped up and kind of consolidating here. So if you look at it, basically resistance is 1824, support is 1711. This is still bullish, believe it or not, on the weekly time frame, and until it breaks down below the support level here, 1767, it's going to remain bullish. But this idea that this momentum did not continue for the Malaysian market's not good at all. The consolidation is basically making this weaker, and the bulls are pretty much going to walk away from this if they don't be careful. Indonesia here was booming bullish. It's trying to undergo a major pullback right now. It's resistance right now, which was a minor support that it pretty much broke, was around 4633. It's trying to get to roughly around 4400, which is going to be its next support coming up. Thailand, also just like Indonesia and all these countries in Southeast Asia, are pretty much reacting the same way. It's undergoing a major pullback right now. This thing is actually stuck between 1428 and 1492. It's going to be critical and see what happens here. But in order for it to retest the pivot high, it's got to break 1492 in order to do that. Philippines, also same scenarios, Thailand and Indonesia. It's going for a major pullback. It's stuck right now between 38 to 32 and 40.38. In order for it to retest the high, it's got to break the 40.38 level. So keep an eye on that one. Vietnam, not really doing anything, stuck between 13,041 and 14,144. Let's go over to South Asia completely. Australia, really not doing anything here at all. It's consolidating. It's stuck between 49.43, 51.28. And then New Zealand, which was strong, is finally sat there and decided it wants to consolidate here. And it's now stuck between 44.62 and 46.48. So this is starting to weaken here, where maybe it'll sit there and start going for a major pullback, but we're not going to know until it breaks out that little range that it has going on. U.S. markets, we'll just cover here the U.S. stocks. As you can see here, basically the Dow's at a minor support right now, 15,107. Major support is going to be basically around 14,721. That's the Dow. The SPX, you could see it's still a little while to get here to the support of 1633, and the major is going to be around 1600. So there's a little discrepancy here between the Dow and the SPX right now, as you could see. And then the NASDAQ here, you could see is also not at that support, which is around closely around 3,000, so it's not there. So Dow has pretty much got to support, whereas the S&P and the NASDAQ still haven't yet, which is pretty interesting. Canada is just consolidating, nothing really going on. You could see the consolidation patterns getting a little tighter and tighter from the top side, not the bottom. The support on this one's going to be 12,328. Resistance is going to be 12,764. Mexico, here is support, really not doing anything here. It's gone for its major pullback, but it's got to break 43,824 in order to retest the high at 46,000, and at that point it'll probably enter a consolidation pattern, could probably reverse. Support on this one's 41,379. So on this one there's limited profits. I really wouldn't even look at Mexico that much anymore until it could sit there and break that pivot high. Argentina, really ugly here, consolidation pattern, believe it or not, still has not gone for a major pullback, and it can break out, believe it or not, on this. So resistance on this one is going to be 4,000, support's going to be 37.13. This is one to keep an eye on in the next couple of weeks. Santiago, Chile, not really doing much of anything here. It's bearish trend, believe it or not. It's kind of bottomed out here a little, so maybe it'll start going for a pullback. Support on this one's going to be 37.40. Resistance, minor resistance, going to be 37.91 and then 38.50 moving forward. Brazil here bounced off this bottom here. It's kind of in counter trend right now. Bounced off the major support at 47,850 and getting to its resistance, which is roughly around 52,000. So at that point, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what this does, whether it's going to be basically continue to move up and try to do a major pullback, or is it going to sit there and continue to trend down. So this 52,000 level is very, very key for the Brazilian market. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens with that. To summarize, basically, if you look at everything going on, uh, Middle East is still leading on very, very strong. Abu Dhabi is kind of like the top up there. And then you got Dubai, and then you got Israel and Saudi Arabia is pretty much leading over there. As far as Asia is concerned, nothing really in Asia is popping out right now. New Zealand was kind of, if you kind of group South Asian, Southeast Asia, and all that stuff together, nothing really in that region in Asia is pretty much booming right now. Uh, New Zealand's still very strong, but it is look like it's basically getting top heavy, so it should be interesting. As far as Europe is concerned, you still got the Norway, Nordic, and all those. They're pretty much very strong, but nothing really leading out there, and so far in the U.S. too. So the booming markets are still basically in the Middle East right now, but that looks like it may change because the Middle East, it's about time it's kind of overbought right now. So Middle East is kind of due for a pullback, and some other country should at that point take its position and kind of leading things going into a bullish mode come out there. If you have any questions, here's our contact information again. Let's see you in a couple of weeks.